Waza!
How's it
Waza!
going? How's it going?
Waza! It
How are
goes,
you
my
guys?
friend.
It's cold in Delhi,
Good.
man. It's cold in Delhi. Back in Delhi, and I'm feeling cold.
I have two
You
phones.
look
One
like
says
a
it's 15 degrees Celsius, the other says it's 17.
you look like an Eskimo. Nishank looks like he's very toasty in his house.
I'm outside.
Because I am hot. And thanks for the compliment, by the way, which I don't get every day. I don't know why. I just don't know. Maybe I'm not relevant. What's the weather in Bangalore?
It's a balmy 26.
Damn, lovely. Rohit, what's happening, my friend?
What's happening, Rohit?
Rohit has been planning to leave the Pioneer DJ family for a different all-in-one product by a competition. But I am not angry.
He who one should not name. Itch.
Rohit is, yeah. Hey, man, what's happening? Of course, Rohit, first comment as usual, except for when you're busy, because we respect the fact that you're married now. So, congratulations once again for the third stream in a row.
What is his third name? I can't read.
Hill Rai. It's like
Mm,
Bile.
mm.
Hey, Danny, what's happening, my Bombay boy? Hey, what's happening, man? Hey, what are you doing? Are you playing somewhere, man? Hey, Bugger. Hey, tell me, na Bugger. Are you playing somewhere? Actually, Clement is our Bandra boy, no?
Yeah,
I'm sure he can do
he's
the
actually
accent
a
very well.
Bangalore boy
So,
who's gone to Bombay and he's come back to Bangalore.
nice. So, without further ado, who's introducing our friend today?
Our host today is Skip.
What I will do is both sides. What I will do is I'm gonna tell Nishan to do it because he knows him way more than I do. Actually, I've met him before, but Nishan talks to him a lot. So tag.
Killer. So, welcome, guys. I met this gentleman at Go Madras in edition 9 that happened in what's now Four Seasons, I believe. Earlier, it used to be Confluence. Amazing guy. I think it was his first set of the day, and I was, setting up. But our setup time got extended because I was just enjoying his set so much, and
I was
I was
there for
literally
it.
waving at
I
him.
was there for it. I've got pictures of this thing happening.
I was waving at him, and I was like, "Bro, amazing set! Like, oh my god!" And yeah. So I think our setup got delayed by an hour or two because I was just consumed in his set, which is amazing. We met once again, but I think we didn't meet much. We didn't talk much until I started getting a lot of feedback on how Record Box used to suck back in the days. I think we were still on early stages of Record Box 5. So got a lot of feedback from him, and thanks to him, a lot of improvements were made in the software. But I don't. Let's keep that for later. I don't think this should be a part of the introduction. This is a DJ who I definitely look up to. He has been chosen by Kuvo as one of the top 10 upcoming DJs last year, and he definitely has come up big time since then. He's hosted his own, you know, what's the word?
Podcasts
His
Showcase.
show.
and
He
showcases.
show he yeah, hosts his podcast called Journey. He
Journey.
hosted his showcase at ADE by the name of Journey itself. Very few people can do that. And yeah, so without any further ado, let me bring in Goos.
Hello, 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 guys. Hello, hello. How's it going?
Hello,
Hello, hello, hello.
welcome to our little party.
To the DJ
How are you,
Goose.
fellas? Oh, we still go with DJ first. Okay, fine. DJ Goose then. You sound like a
If I could
newspaper. Uh, what's
yeah.
the word they use? Inebriated and
Yeah,
foot stomping tunes.
yeah, rave.
What? No, don't use that
Trade.
word, please. That
Yeah,
word is being tracked.
we'll get
Don't
banned.
use it. Yeah. So, Goose, what's happening,
What's-
bro?
Nothing. Jan was
Can't
quiet.
ask you what the
Satellite was
temperature is
awesome.
because.
Yeah,
Okay.
temperature where Tuhin is and where I am is, well, actually, he's
26.
usually in a cooler part of town, but I
Yeah.
think it's about the same now. But yeah, can't complain. It's okay.
Hey, Garth, what's happening, boy? How are you?
Nice, not
You
bad.
know,
Responding quickly.
I'll talk about all that a little later.
What headphones is that,
Skip,
Skip?
Skip has a story.
Uh, I'll have a story for you for sure. These are the Pioneers sevens. S7,
S7.
C7.
Okay.
C7, C7. Yeah.
That was C70. That was back in the day.
C7.
It was replaced by S7.
बंद हो गया. Yeah.
How's it going, guys? How are you doing? Let us know in the chat. Goose has recently played the concluded Satellite Festival. Were you there in the Satellite Republic
Correction, no, not
as well?
recently concluded. That ended yesterday, day before yesterday, whatever. I did the one
Oh,
before
yeah.
that, December.
He was
Yeah.
lucky to do it on the white night. Everybody was in
Yeah.
white. The CDJs and the mixer were in white.
Everything was
Goose-
white. That was awesome.
Goose was also wearing white. His mask was white. His the CD.
Because that was the theme of the day, no?
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
I mean, the
Oh,
clothes that
exactly
I
what
was
just
wearing.
said.
That correct.
So, guys, but yeah, Tuhin, the first question that you've asked always to everybody.
Your journey,
Right.
Mr. Journey.
Is that ironic or is that usually the question?
Well, it's usually the question, but it's very apt.
It's a dad
because,
joke. It's
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a dad joke.
It's a dad joke.
Yeah, so
No, but it's
tell us
been
about
good, yeah.
tell us about how you, or rather, yeah, how you got into DJing, what you started with, and where you are at now.
So
Yeah.
I guess wanted to be a DJ for a long time. I didn't think I had the guts to stand up on a stage and have 100 people looking at me, which is why it took so long to even try it. I had a controller that I used to muck around with for a long time. And then finally went to the music school in Bangalore to actually figure out the equipment.
What year was
2000.
this, Goose?
Not too long ago, maybe 6 years ago. Yeah, 5.5, 6 years ago, something like that. But yeah, I was pretty clear I didn't want to play on a laptop right from the beginning. So I really needed access to the platters, anything with a platter. So I could get that part of it figured out. But yeah, I think going to
Do you
the
like
school really
Afghani
helped.
platter, Mediterranean platter, tandoori platter?
I'm vegetarian, bro, so we'll keep it as I eat so
It could be
vegetables.
vegetarian
Highly
tandoori
musical.
platter. Oh my god,
They don't eat that.
I'm
in
offended.
So, when you were, what were you doing before DJing? Like, what were you doing professionally?
I am a marketing guy professionally. I'm still a marketing guy professionally. So
Acha.
that continues, except I think in the last year, I've stopped doing a full-time job, which was for a startup in real estate. And then for the last 5, 6 years was with a IT company based in US making some software. But then I got bored with that. So now I freelance and play the role of a sort of CMO to most companies. But I'm also working with a handful of musicians, mostly in the electronic space, and helping them sort of strategize around their music career and growth and what they should do to grow, not selling themselves out. So I probably would never work with, I mean, I'd have nothing against them, but like an EDM DJ, because I don't know how to play that game well.
It's okay.
I
You
thought-
can
I
name
thought
your
you-
name.
No.
I thought he was about to see the
But
name on. It's okay,
it takes
okay.
it takes something else to play that game and play it well. So, and I don't have
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It does.
I know that. But yeah, I've been working with a few people, and I don't want to name them, but the results are showing, and their releases are getting more traction, and they're getting booked for more gigs, and their visibility in the country is a lot more, and so that's a sign of success. But yeah, the idea was to do more in the music space, and so over the last year, the lockdown actually helped. in that direction because I could figure out now how to produce, what to produce, and all that stuff, and trying to get
Also,
that side of things.
you've been you've been learning production or like just figuring out. Are you learning from somewhere?
I went to school again, music school again, and studied under Abhijit, weird sounding dude. But that was some time ago. That was 3, 4 years ago. But because I had the full time job, I couldn't really focus on that and whatever, do the music and do the NGO stuff. So I run an animal welfare NGO also for the last 10 years. So that's still on and still going on. So with all those
So
things, yeah, production was hard.
you do a lot of work, man. That means like there's a lot on your plate. How do you take out time
Yep.
for music and sorting out the whole journey and all that stuff? Yeah, that's a. I know it's a lot of work because I've
It is.
tried putting out few mixtapes long time back. So to sort out to give you something and then basically Tuhin is like such a hardworking guy, man. So I get inspired by you guys, man, who keeps putting there like constantly putting. What episode are you on, Tuhin? For Index?
90 something, 91.
Bro, let us start. No, aren't we like you're starting with Totoroto?
Yeah. I'm
All
doing
right,
it.
Farouk is here. Okay, let's say hello to everybody. Huh? By the way,
Yeah.
we have
That's a lot of people.
Charlie.
Hey,
We
Charlie.
got
I haven't seen you in a while.
Azad, Rabi.
So Charlie is my
Rakesh
rave
has
partner
a
when we go to
question.
see Roger Sanchez in AD.
We have a audience comment. Huh? Somebody from the audience, Nishank from the audience is saying, "Can we see Skip's hair?"
I don't have any hair anymore. Yeah, like,
It's like below the cap.
Woo! The moon bender.
yeah.
I can't see Farouk's comment. I think it's just the app. Okay, never mind. Rakesh has a question. He asks, "What are the main aspects you look at production in terms of sound?" And before we answer that, Arindam says, "Hey Goos."
Hey, Arindam. Hey,
Arindam's last name is your first name.
yeah. In the last 3 weeks, that has become a common occurrence. I didn't know there were other people who had this name. I knew they existed. I just didn't know them. But yeah, I know Arindam likes a lot of the similar sound that I play and listen to, and also far and few. Anyway, what's the question? What are the main aspects you look at production in terms of sound? So I don't know if I'm best qualified to answer that because I'm not much of a producer yet. I know what I like to listen to, but at some point I think I'll get there. But yeah, it's going to be
It's very
deep. It's going to
sweet of
be
you to say that.
melodic.
When you're looking for music, you have, like the stuff that you sort of like put down as an idea, and that's what you want.
So I know
How do you pick your music,
So-
basically?
the melody is very strong, obviously. The groove is very groovy, so it's not dry. So it's got to have a lot of percussion, and I like the tribal groove, which I know not a lot of people in India like.
Very Danny Tenendia, like.
Very
Electronica.
Roger
It's
Sanchez,
more
Sanchez,
like
actually.
World
Roger
music
Sanchez,
meets electronica.
Yeah.
Chus and
Yeah.
Ceballos, that kind of.
So
Yes,
for people
exactly.
who don't know these names, can you give people some names and something that they can listen to because you are an avid listener to this style of music?
At the moment, I'm digging a lot of All Day I Dream stuff because they've brought out a lot of the percussion
All day I
from
dream.
Asia and the Middle East.
Catherine.
And again, a little history about myself. I was born in the Middle East, and so all those instruments like the darbukas and the ouds and all those sounds that are making their way into sample packs now, I've literally grown up listening to only that because there was nothing else on FM, and I've grown up listening to Arabic music. I didn't realize it influenced me, but now when I'm listening back to it, I know like my ear is a little better tuned to pick up a nice tune than somebody who's listening to it for the first time. So that's helping.
But it's always good to have a different kind of because these instruments play a very like it's a instant connect, right?
Yeah,
Because
100%.
but I feel that
I mean,
that's yeah, please.
No, I think like percussion especially as Indians, it's kind of like in our blood. Whether you like it or not, you start to groove to
Yeah, yeah.
percussion. Yeah,
Especially as a South
more
Indian.
than yeah,
South Indian,
correct.
North Indian. Dhol har jagah hai, bro. Like dhol is there all over the country. It's
I
just
love
it's
it,
played
bro.
in a different way. Yeah, if it's
Like
played really
कुछ
well,
भी
it's
हो जाए, अगर किसी शादी पे बज जाएगा ना पंजाबी ढोल, and bro, full power.
and I feel
Yep.
that for electronic music, that's what I feel about breakbeats also. Like instead of regular house, if you start off with a breakbeat, it's like instant like floor is on. That's why with
Speaking of
Totoroto I
which,
play more of breaks.
there's some really good Indian producers as well who are coming up with groovy stuff. I know J-Pi has that kind of element in his music, but not as much, but a little bit. Yeah, a lot of good Indian
Madhav's
music with
recent
that
album
kind of
also is
vibe.
really really dope.
Oh,
Yeah, like some of the stuff that Madhav made earlier, like some of
Super dope.
his
There's some
earlier stuff that he's released
acids.
on. So Acid Kids, I didn't relate to so much, but I think he had a release on Soul Selectors or something a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. It was called Maya. That was really, really nice. That's something that
That track is like really dope.
yeah. But I mean, when I'm playing, if I play as deep and melodic as I do, and if there's no percussion, then people won't dance. And I mean, ultimately, if you're DJing, people come to dance, right? So there's got to be something there.
we have an important announcement. Somebody loves Nancy Ajram. So
Yeah. He was the queen back in the day.
yes, that has to be brought up. You have another question. When you are mastering, what do you use? Logic or any other software? What do you mean by Logic or any other software, Rakesh? हाँ? मतलब हम जो Ableton खरीद के बैठे हैं, हम पागल हैं? हम any other software की कैटेगरी में आ जाते हैं? What is this?
हमारा software Logic, हमारा software any other software.
What? Skippy!
B grade stuff.
Oh shit, where are we?
The other side, bro. The
Actually,
other
guys,
side, bro.
Yeah, but no, I use Logic, and I have discovered
Damn you.
the whole isotope stuff right now. So that's
Oh yeah.
been really cool to work with.
Having said that, I would like to give a shout out to Splice because with that you can buy
Also, Splice,
these
yeah.
softwares for really cheap.
Yeah.
So, are you using the Splice version? Because I bought to buy Splice because I cannot afford 70,000 in a one go. That kind of thing.
I didn't buy the whole plugin, but they had a lot of those deals on Plugin Boutique, which I keep tracking. And so
Yeah.
The
the ones that are
elements,
good.
Hmm.
I got
No,
Elements,
I
I
got
got a
the-
vocal doubler, I got a few others.
So I got the whole pack, but it's not hurting because it's going like $20 a month, something like
Right?
that.
Yeah.
Rakesh,
My favorite purchase would be Serum.
I just got Diva. I was actually talking to Nishank about that maybe 3 weeks
Wow.
ago.
Don't talk
4 weeks
about it.
ago.
Don't talk about it. Do not
Every
talk
guy
about
does
it.
Nishank is a diva lover.
Yeah.
It's a
So
very
I-
heavy-
I paid bloody 30,500 rupees. This guy comes next week, bro. 6.5 में available है.
like full burn happened.
Oh my god.
It's a lovely software though.
So yeah,
There are
Arindam,
some
you're
really,
right.
really dope
Aryan
things coming
Sharma. Aryan Sharma is more of indie dance. He's not of he's not like groovy, you know. It's more disco vibe with the raw drum elements and synth elements. But yeah, he did come
I
up
quite
with
like
the
his set
Synco
at
pack.
Satellite. So
He's
his
amazing.
DJ set is a lot more groovy and dance floor friendly than his productions are. So I'll give him that. I heard him at Satellite in December. It was really nice. Thoroughly enjoyed that.
Farouk is my best friend. Apparently, he's rich because he's paid off the full serum and everything. Farouk, good to meet you. bro.
Farouk, yes. Farouk probably owns Serum and Splice.
Big guy.
These Amsterdam people.
Farouk is here to see Tuhin's shoes. Yeah, what are we doing, guys? We're not discussing Skip's hair
Yeah, we
or
haven't.
Tuhin's shoes. The main subject.
Bring out the
missing.
Crocs, the
Is
yellow
that the
Crocs.
reason why you got this thing? So I'm wearing something fancy today. If anyone can tell me what I'm wearing. Oh, shit.
I have
You're
mitti
wearing
on
your
my
orange
Crocs.
shoes. Yeah, see, I knew it. I knew you'll be wearing your orange shoes.
Skip
Yeah,
got
this is
Skip got
Tuhin's favorite
scolding
shoe.
of his life when he bought those shoes at home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
ये क्या लेके आया है? But they are my favorites. Anyone can tell the name will get a free Pioneer mask.
Nike.
Nike कौन सा Nike? Nike तो क्या है?
Nike shoes.
I was going to say
Oh,
Redbook,
Sanjay is
but
there.
See,
Jordan 1
Sanjay is here.
Gatorade. Sanjay is here.
He'll probably own this one also.
Uh, so Farooq, where are you? Are you back home or are you in country?
I think Farouk's back in Amsterdam.
Ah.
No, I want to know more about Goose's adventures, man. How
what adventures?
the whole journey, because journey is I really like
The journey of the journey.
Yeah, man. How did you
journey
like?
of
How
the-
did it all start? Because he's the. If you guys don't know, this is what I was supposed to tell. Totoroto was first featured on Totoroto. Ka introduction was done by Goose's
Actually, yeah, that's true.
podcast. Yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah.
That's
I
true.
thought I did
People
that.
who don't know. No, for people who don't know, nahin. That came. Goose's was the first ever Totoroto, but nobody knew it was me. फिर बाद में
Shank, you just got shafted.
no, but that was the first video set I did. First video set I did was Pioneers.
Me only.
Yeah, you became the third wheel now suddenly.
No, but tell us please, how did the journey started? Like, cause it's very nicely. I have to comment. The music is like literally handpicked and very very nicely done. So I like that stuff a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, so when I started, I was very clear I wanted to record sets, right? So I invested in that time the whatever DJ Rec app didn't exist, and so I went and picked up the Mixbox from UK, and I think they were on version 1 of the Mixbox back then. So I got that shipped from UK, and I actually I think I used it for the first or second time at Go Madras. That same year I met Nishank for the first time.
That was the first time.
Correct. And so I record that, and I was using it mostly to listen back to stuff. But then I also realized I was not being consistent with putting out stuff frequently enough. So then to discipline myself more than anyone, I realized I should switch it into a format where I get a guest on the show, which then kind of forces me into having a schedule and a routine and then planning the schedule around the whole thing. So yeah, I think for the whole of that year, which was 2018, I think I knew I was going to do it every 2 weeks. It's going to be a 2-hour episode, 1 hour me. I would be the first, the guest would be second. I was pretty clear I didn't want to repeat guests as far as I could stretch it out, and as far as the show picked up traction and more people wanted to be a part of it. So I think for the whole of the first year, I reached out to people who were friends and who would be willing to do for the show, because I didn't really have a platform then. So it was more like, okay, can you do me a favor and do a mix for me type of thing. But then also do my part to build it to something where people now want to be a part of it. And then when I managed to bag a few international artists, that was their way of reaching an audience for their sound in India. Luckily, the guys at Hyphen Design, then also who tune into the show, they reached out and said they want to do artwork because they listen to Digweed's transitions and all of that. And so how the design part of it is a really visual sort of element to the whole show. So
there are no
I
faces.
piggybacked on that. Correct. So, I mean, the secret here is that the artwork is always about the guest. It's never about me. The only identity I have on the show is the logo and my name.
So
And
मेरे
that's
वाले
been
फूल
getting
क्यों लगाया?
I don't know what backstory I gave them about Totoroto, but I usually give them that full freedom. Like they'll either listen to your music or I tell them a little bit about the artist, where they're from or whatever. And so that's the story that goes into the creative element around it. So the journey brand kind of happened on its own. I didn't really do much on
How did
that
Kubo
front.
come in play?
Kuvo came into play because I don't know, I've been on pioneerdj.com for a very long time. And so I happened to get a mail saying they were restarting Kuvo. I was interested in Kuvo the first time because they were
What
doing
time
the
was
whole
it?
tracklist thing. This was 2017 or 18 or something.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
And so I remember back in the day when Kuvo launched, they did something with I think it was Ministry of Sound and all that, and I was really keen to see what these guys there are playing because I think it was hooking up to the CDJs and they were doing track listing and all that stuff. And then they opened it up to say, okay, we're going to feature mixes and all that. And so I didn't do anything different. I was just syndicating the same show onto kuvo.com.
Right.
And that's it. I had no end game with that really. And then they reached out and said, okay, some guy from Resident Advisor Japan had picked up on it and he was reviewing all the sets. And then this one got picked up and it happened to be the same Gomadra set that I recorded for the first time. So that
Wow.
one set actually has gone to, like, it reached UK to the same Mixbox guys who then came and played for me in AD. And this Gomadra set has now gone to Kuvo. And so, yeah, for me, I'm like, okay,
That's awesome.
yeah, if the music's reaching this far without me knowing it, then I should sort of piggyback and ride the wave as long as I can. And now Journey has become that. So this year, the plan at least is to do as many international artists. And there are a lot of guys in this space now who are realizing there are people in India listening to it, but not as many, let's say, techno artists as there are deep house artists who are coming here. So if the show can validate that,
Goos's
now
idea.
I can tell a promoter here, this show got this many listens and this guy has an audience and people know him, so why not bring him over or her over?
Well played.
So the
I'm
moral
gonna
of the
go-
story is that don't stop, keep doing.
Yeah, for me, yeah, the
Stop.
consistency really has, like, it's built on its own. I don't pay for anything. Uh, I never intend to pay for Journey to go anywhere. I'm not going down that path. All the listeners that I have on the show, all the people who have tuned in, have all discovered the show either because of the artist or because they've found me or heard me or whatever. And so that's worked out well. So why not
So there's
keep
no
going that way?
plan as such now. You're just gonna continue what you're doing.
The show will continue as it goes. So Journey is the show. Journey on Tour is the showcase, which I do across cities, where I usually invite me plus another one artist. So the one I did in Amsterdam was the first where I had 6 hours for the showcase, so I invited 5 other artists. Manny was supposed to be on that one, but unfortunately his visa didn't work out, and so he couldn't make it.
Yeah,
But I got 5 other
that's
guys
usually
to do
the
that.
case.
Yeah. And then I did Bombay, I did Hyderabad, I did 2 in Bangalore. So now this year, probably will pick it up and start doing a few more around. Might have another radio show format thing coming up sometime later this year, which might be on an FM station somewhere in Europe, which will again piggyback on the Journey brand itself, but will be called something else. That's probably going to be more about me and not so much about a guest format. I'm going to keep Journey just for that one. But yeah, I mean, one step at a time, I guess.
Mr.
Shine
Shine.
is your small fan. Not as
How's
big as
it going,
Deepak.
bro?
But yeah,
Deepak is
so
a
Journey
huge
has been a
fan.
good platform, really. It's come on its own.
Sorry. I don't think
Yeah, so
so. I
remember
think you
our
put in a lot of
discussions-
efforts, bro. What are you saying that? Why are you saying it has come on its own? I see the amount
No,
of
it's-
effort you've put it in, bro.
I think what he's talking about is how organically it's grown. You know.
Yeah, I don't have an end game to it. Like, I'm not going after a particular metric, or I'm not saying, like, I set myself personal milestones that ideally I'd like to hit X number of plays and X number of followers, but I lose nothing and I gain nothing if I hit it. So that's just for me to keep pushing it and trying to find artists who are new. And I mean, as DJs, we usually find artists before crowds find them, and we are the ones to present that sound first, and then they go and dig. So if I can get them on a show and then showcase them to the audience first, then why not? The artist discovers a new audience. I mean, earlier, I think all through 2019 or most of 2019, it was mostly Indian audience. But now I'm seeing I have almost as many plays in other countries as I do in India, as in like
Nice.
Russia and Dublin and US and all these places. So I'm like, okay,
That's
well,
pretty cool.
my music is reaching them, their music is reaching India, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because I remember when you were starting the show Journey, and we had this conversation about how how to go about it and how to, like, you asked me the same question. What's your end game?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, yeah.
So the other fun fact here, Tuhin very gracefully agreed to mentor me when I was starting out, and so I've learned a lot watching him play. Okay, not even though we play very distinctly different styles of music, a lot of I think mixing technique and keeping energy alive and all that stuff has come down from Tuhin, and so yeah, full credit to him for that one.
Tuhin
None of
playing
these
the
guys
masterclass on
mentor
its
me,
own,
man.
man. I've realized
What?
this thing.
I mean, I give them free headphones, I give them free turntable mixers, I give them free players. None of them want to mentor me.
Nothing.
Huh?
Have you asked?
So many times I first asked you,
Arey,
Mr.
what did I tell you? I
Mr.
said come.
Tuhin Mehta, you come to
I
my
said come.
show and then and I came for a whole for 8 days to stay at your place. We didn't
That's
move
not
our
enough,
asses to
bro.
first floor.
That's not enough though. But yeah, I
No,
mean,
We
but watching
belong.
Tuhin is
हाँ हाँ इंडिया
definitely
से हैं.
watching Tuhin is definitely a masterclass. You learn a lot from his mixing skills, man. He's too
Actually,
smooth, man.
I have
Correct.
seen
Agreed.
Tuhin perform with SP16 just once. I've copied his style, but obviously it's fun to see him perform on the SP16. I don't think I've seen. Yeah, I saw him perform once on the DGS 1000 the day we launched it
I
at
do you,
Sonic.
do you remember when we were playing in Go Madras, Pioneer ke section mein, I had the RR and I played the track and we were having our own party in,
Yeah,
in
yeah, I
the
remember that.
oh, inside the booth,
I
yeah.
remember
inside the
the
booth.
tent itself. Yeah.
I mixed the track and 8-inch monitors में Go Madras and that same BPM पे party चल रही है.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I was sitting on the chair eating biryani, I think, at that point.
Yeah, it's like two different things going on, full
Good
power.
days. I was too tired. I was only having
Yeah.
ice creams and yeah, so tired I
Yeah.
was.
So,
Working can be, tiring.
talking about festivals, which has been your favorite festival apart from Go Madras? Because I know Go Madras से सब कुछ शुरू हुआ था, ये वो सब कुछ. Apart from
No, but
because
you know
Go Madras
what?
is everybody's favorite festival, man. End of the day, this is like period. Like everybody loves Go Madras. So, what's your?
I think Twin was the year that I played the first year that you had non-techno, non-sci
2018.
programming.
17.
I
2017
yeah,
September.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
So
No, I
I
mean
was
we've had non-techno programming before, but I think
like
we had
not
a lot more.
this different, right?
Yeah, not this varied. Correct.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that year I got the first slot on the main stage, and I'm going into it wondering what the hell do you play now? You're invited to what is normally associated with the techno sci festival. What do you play? I'm like, okay, go wing it, play whatever you can play, and that's that. Anyway, who is there? Either
Yeah.
they'll like it or they'll hate it, but that's all you can do. But I mean, the crowd was thin because it was so early. But the response the set got, I think, kind of validated everything after that.
Yeah,
But apart
that's
from
exactly
that,
what it's
what
about.
else? Yeah. Satellite's been fun. I've played there a few times. I think by far this last edition, December one, probably the most fun. First time playing back to back with Abhi, good sounding dude. And good set time also later in the night. Good equipment, of course. Totally love that. Um, Amsterdam was fun. Like going into that, you don't know what to expect. Like different crowds, but one thing about playing there, you can literally play anything and take an experiment, and the audience is open-minded enough to give you a listen. They may not like it at the end of it, but they listen to you and then make that judgment. So that was interesting playing there also. I played at Crank this year, December. Superb sound system and superb venue. So and nice long set. So that was good. But yeah, hopefully more this year. If it all boutique festivals now apparently is the thing. So let's see.
Boutique festivals, lovely. I would love to play boutique festivals for 25 people. Actually, I've never had 25 people. It's always been less than that every time I've played.
What shit?
My live streams are like
You
boutique
and-
festivals.
No, when you and Hoax opened for me, you had a full floor,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. I actually loved that gig.
That was awesome. That gig.
I don't even remember what date. I think I should get the playlist out and do a.
Mm.
Yeah, Goose. So I think my thought process got lost there. I definitely, tried doing a little bit of podcasting because I had some time on me during the initial days of lockdown, and then the
Yeah.
work started completely. So it takes it. Hats off to you, man. But yeah, definitely, I'm gonna copy your style like from starting to end. You've been warned. So you can, if I ever
My
get
idea
famous,
isn't original, bro. My idea is not original. I'll tell you where I got my idea from. I knew I wanted a 2 hour format. I knew I wanted a guest.
Hmm, hmm,
I got the me plus guest idea from Roger Sanchez because I tune into his episode. But he doesn't do one plus
right,
one. He usually does 1.5 plus half or 1 hour 40 plus 20 minutes.
right,
Uh, I got the whole introduction idea from Tuhin actually and the voiceover. I got the artwork idea, which actually came from Hyphen because they picked it off John Digweed's podcast. So I
right.
just mixed a bunch of things
So
together and I said, okay, this is what I'd like to do. Let's see if it works.
Nice.
that's how it is. That's how it works
Yeah.
No,
anyway.
no, I'm going to Trisha. Trisha. I'm going to copy. I'm not going to take inspiration. I'm going to rip off everything that Goose does. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to be a skinny boy with beard who smokes
Yes.
hookah while performing from his room.
Yes.
I'm going to buy a MacBook Pro that's exactly his, and I
You
will
have the
wear a
same
Delhi
spec
t-shirt.
Mac, so you got to start already.
Yeah, but to people out there, I'm selling my MacBook Pro if you're interested.
Cheeky.
Marketplace.
That's right.
What do
What
you
will
do
you do
about
about the
height,
height?
bro? I got a Pelican case from Tuhin. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna stand on top of it, and one day
Oh
I'll be
man.
not Goose.
I'll buy you heels if you want. If that helps.
Mm,
Yeah, that you should do. That you should do.
that is interesting idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Done.
Or
So, Asrar, I think we've
platform
answered your
shoes.
question. There are multiple bros, stilettos, platforms. When I used to have
Mm.
a girlfriend, I learned all of these things.
Mm.
I was expecting something else at the end of that sentence, but it's okay. We'll talk about that later.
What's better? I mean, you saw me cry, bro. What could be better than that? Love the brand. Which
So
brand?
Pioneer, I hope.
Pioneer.
Yay!
Yeah, that's yeah. So
so
I'm an
tell us
unabashed
what you
fan of
thought.
Pioneer.
Yes, speaking of you being a fan, tell us what you
Hmm.
thought about the CJ 3000.
So I'm a bit of a geek generally, whether I know to use the functionality or whether I actually end up using it. But I'm very geeky when it comes to like understanding what I'm working with, hardware or software, even the record box side of things. So record box, yeah, Nishank, you know how much I badgered you with all the feedback. Uh, I'm on 6 and whatever, I got 6.5 today. Uh, but I think on record box, the day mode has been a blessing for me personally. Uh, I'm not used to the new waveforms on that, but I think I will eventually start getting used to it. Uh, I see the value in it for me. Again, so the backstory here is that I'm colorblind, so I use colors in very different ways to most DJs, reading waveforms and color coding stuff and all that. So it takes me a bit to adapt to how things look on the screen versus how they looked on a laptop screen. Um, so yeah, that day mode and the whole contrast with waveforms and stuff like that was really, really good. The 3000s were a dream to play on, honestly. Like nothing. I think I did some Instagram story or something on that. It wasn't like one
Mm-hmm.
big thing that jumped out at me, but I didn't have a very hard time getting used to playing on new equipment for the first time at a gig. Like everything was where I expected it to be, everything did what I expected it to do. But small things like the platter being a lot more sensitive to how it moves, or the buttons being a lot more tactile. The screen, of course, is massively useful. even simple things that I knew, but I didn't realize until I hit it, like looking at your connected sources of, because we played on four consoles that day, two or 3000, two or Nexus 2s. So tapping, let's say USB link and what are the other options on the Nexus 2 versus tapping source and seeing the whole list there. Logically,
Yeah.
it makes sense now in retrospect as opposed to seeing four buttons, one for only doing one job.
Yeah.
Or even like I have my record box set up in alphanumeric now ever since that was launched, even though I run it through mixed in key. But then being able to see matched keys on the screen on the 3000 and having that highlighted with whatever key matching and key sync and that stuff, it wasn't something that I didn't know how to use otherwise on the 2000. But now that it's there, I would much rather have it there than not. Or seeing a lot more track information. I think just choosing a next tune becomes so much more faster, easier. Or listening to 5 tracks in place of 3 when you're trying to find the next tune, all those things.
Did you happen to try the key matching?
Not this time, not, I mean, because we were playing back to back, so I didn't want to get into that.
Side to
Uh,
side.
Side to side.
Sorry.
And also, yeah, this particular set that I played with Abhi was a little different to what I usually play, as in sound wise, musically. It was a lot more progressive than what my melodic
Yeah,
guitar stuff is.
I saw the stories.
Yeah. And that
I was like,
was
this
a
is not
conscious
Goose.
decision. Yeah, that was a conscious decision going into that particular set, given that it was back to back and seeing the sort of programming for the day and all that. And so
Right.
generally with progressive, we're a lot more rigid when it comes to mixing in key. We still broke rules, but
Right.
for the most part, we stuck to key. So we didn't see the need really to have to pitch up and see what key it's going into or jump keys and all that.
Yeah.
Right. I
But
mean,
you can
I
always go
understand.
plus
Like,
three, minus three.
yeah, but
When
it's
when
also
I'm
like,
playing,
you know,
usually I do that anyway. I use it as a guide, but it's not like I'm not rigid about
Right.
yeah,
Skip
and
is
also
taking
like
notes.
in the kind of like music, like, you know, techno can be quite atonal sometimes. So
Correct.
Right.
the manually pitch shifting to create like lifters, or you know,
Hmm.
uh, creating almost like a spiral sort of effect. I did that live
Right.
at Satellite, and it was a lot of fun. It, you know, it's one thing to actually just be doing it at home, but a whole other thing when you're doing it live in front of an audience. That's also high energy. You know, it's sort of like feeds very well off one another. And I found that between the 2000 Nexus 2 and the 3000 is definitely more performance oriented, if
Yeah,
that
without a
makes
doubt.
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
sense.
But I mean, I will also say, having spoken to a bunch of other DJs at the festival, everyone is excited to try it, but still very apprehensive about, you know, trying it live in front of a crowd for the first time. And then eventually, okay, since there was 4 decks, they could play 2 tunes and then experiment on it while 2 tracks were playing and all that. So I think
Yeah.
many workshops are in order from you guys to get everyone used to
Yeah,
it, so you could start
and I
selling
also
more
think a lot of
units.
people are still like lazy, and you know, they're just throwing tracks onto USB and then plugging it into the CDJ, not really
Yep.
taking the full use and the full power of the CDJ. Forget the 3000, even on the 2000. You know, I've seen
2000, yeah.
People
established
don't
DJs do
even
that.
buy. People don't even buy good USB drives, and they talk about it on Instagram.
I saw that comment and I was actually very surprised about that because, yeah, now that you mention it, I can't believe someone saying that like the analysis time or the read time of a USB was slower than Nexus 2. That's like same USB, you plug it into 2 different players, it's obviously faster, like visibly faster to
Yeah.
load.
And Tuhin, do you load
Hmm.
AIFF files in all the demonstrations that we've done so far, or MP3s?
I've done both. I
Both,
have a
right?
combination of MP3, AIFF,
Hmm.
WAV. Yeah.
WAV.
So I I use
Goose.
Wave
Goose. No, no, no.
But
4460.
like I prefer AIFF and
Sorry,
MP3.
Skip. I always interrupt, bro. It just so happens whenever you talk,
No, it's
I
okay. It's
end up
okay.
interrupting.
What
I'm
were
really
you
sorry, bro.
saying?
Goose, there's a.
Is my T-shirt for sale? No, this one I bought off the shelf, but I'm making Journey T-shirt soon, and you can hear more about that in about a month from now. So yeah, I'm plugging my T-shirt and the brand now.
Well done.
Somebody else has
Skip, you were
something
saying
to
something?
plug
Yeah,
So
in.
I
Skip had
use
a question.
for CDJs, I use wave files when I'm doing my edits and all. They're all
Right.
wave
Ah.
2416. 20
Hmm.
sorry 4416, and I don't Victo, I don't 4824 I don't do. So
FLAC Arindam, no.
We
Well,
don't
I
the
use
think it
FLAC.
CDJs
does.
are
I mean,
capable of
just a
reading
personal
FLAC.
choice.
Yeah. I mean, if you see, no, most of these Beatport, etc., some of the other sources, there's a lot of inconsistency in the high quality downloads. So some give you waves, most give you AIFF,
Yeah, because it's
flags. I haven't.
the main problem is the conversion process. So if you don't have a good converter, some of these odd, I mean, it's not an odd format. It's just a format that's not used as often.
Hmm.
Yeah, the most consistent are obviously AIFF and Wave, and then after that is the 320 MP3.
But to be fair, how many sound systems can actually recreate
No, I
that
mean
level of quality, right?
I've actually had an instance of me playing a whole set of just MP3 320 files, and an established DJ, well, now established DJ, not that at that time, came up and say, "Oh, I can tell the difference now. It's such a big
Yeah,
difference when you're playing. You can tell it's Wave," and I'm just like,
right.
"Yeah, okay." It wasn't Wave. It was just
Yeah,
MP3 320. It's maybe
correct.
just good quality music. I don't know, or maybe
Placebo
good
effect.
EQ. Yeah, or EQ control, or your gain staging. If you have all
Correct.
of that done right, then yeah,
That's okay.
gain
I
staging is
like
great.
Whatever
320
Like
k.
floats their
especially
I
boat.
for
like
people who
128. I like 128 kbps. Arindam says
yeah.
320 is industry standard as it takes less space. Bro, Arindam, I'm a noob, okay? All of these guys here, they have a really good quality of music. I recently switched from 320 to AIFF, and my God, I am so happy. I don't care how much space is taken. One song takes space of 10 songs, but bro, it's so bloody worth it.
Hmm.
You enjoy the music yourself when the quality is so much better, bro. In
This
the
is true.
headphones itself. You can
But
hear the difference in your headphones while queuing.
Yeah,
usually you're the only one listening to that level of difference because that monitor and the PA is not able to keep up with you.
correct.
A
And
lot of
also
times that
and
also
also like
case.
what I found is, like, back in the day before I had the SP16, I I I would, yeah, it was basically just CDJs and the RMX at max. Um, so then there was a difference when I was playing MP3 versus Wave and AIFF. But now, because I have the SP16 and I'm doing a lot of layers and stuff like that, there isn't much of a difference because I'm constantly layering something from the SP16 or a synth or whatever. So it's always adding that beefy sound um, to my final output. So now I just sort of like stick to MP3 320s. Yeah, works for me. I played on even at Awakenings. I played the same thing. Ash was playing on. He had some of his files were on, I think, AIFF, but you couldn't tell
Hmm.
the difference at all.
CDJ
What
350 doesn't
samples you
play
use?
AIFF, no?
Sorry, say that again. Whose question am I answering first?
Ladies.
Okay. My question was, what format samples you use on your SP16? And does that lose any like quality when you're bringing it in and all that? Or
No,
any
I mean
noise or anything like
all the samples are like waves.
that? Okay.
Yeah, they're just wave files, and yeah, that's it.
All
There's
one
no
shots or
noise as
whatever, right?
such.
Yeah.
Yeah, one shots. The loops are loops that I've sampled real time and then saved it in the project.
Right. So there's no loss in quality or anything
No,
in that
no,
process. Okay.
No, it just, again, like I said, no, it really depends on how you gain stage.
Right.
Even while you're sampling into the SP16, having your gain at the right level.
Right.
But it will depend on the setup a lot, because let's say if your cables are not good, or there are a lot of factors in play. I feel when you're recording from so knowing Tuhin, everything will be A1 any which ways. So yeah,
No, bro,
but
it's not.
it
It's
will
not
depend on
always
a lot
about
of.
A1, nah.
No,
I
I'm saying
think
that if you don't have a
I think
proper, if you
Skip,
don't have a proper cable and all,
Skip, you
you'll
also
see.
have proper cables. You have everything proper. You just leave them at airport before your gigs.
Clement, Premik, how's it going, guys?
Hello, guys. Hello, guys. The whole
Trisha,
crew is
where are
here.
you from? The Europe is closed for this year. You're guessing. Okay, cool. Clement.
And Premik.
Clement is
Premik
trying
is
to
also
make
here.
money. Premik
Oh,
played a
Premik is
six
also
set
here.
at Indiranagar Social last weekend.
Yeah,
That was just mega, like proper live set.
that. Yeah,
Hmm.
very, very nice.
Did you use the Hydra synth?
No, he wasn't using the Hydra. He was using a Moog
Moog
and a
707.
Machine?
Yamaha. Yeah, and a
Is
machine.
it Moog or is it
Machine.
Moog?
Whichever, bro.
Mooch.
Mooch.
It's
Mooch
none
is
of
the
you have.
secret of my energy. Ayla, sing. Hi, Clement. Greetings of the day. Hope you're doing well.
Nishang, you had some question, no, for Tuhin, or did you already ask that? And I missed it.
I did have. Oh, I just asked just CDJ 350 play AIFF. I don't think so.
I don't think
Because
so.
I think 2000 Nexus brought in the capability of
Yeah,
AIFF and Wave.
I think
Not
2000,
Wave.
2000 onwards. 2000 onwards.
2000.
Yeah.
Oh.
Even the CDJ 1000 could play. Mark III
Wave
could
to
play
tha.
waves. Yeah,
But FLAC and AIFF came with 2000 Nexus.
I think so. I don't know
Hmm.
the exact timeline.
Nishang, I
Asrar
have
is
idea of Wave.
promoting. Asrar is promoting the music
Mm-hmm.
school Bangalore. Yeah, sorry, bro. What's your idea?
350 played the AIFF, bro.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Google.
Nishang, my idea is for Pioneer to do a buyback program for the 2000s, just so that they're
I
not
can't hear
in
you.
the
What?
market anymore.
What? What? I can't hear you, bro.
Nishang has left the room.
Hey,
We have no
bro,
money
the
for this.
thing is, if we start buyback, what will we do? It will push the cost of other products up only. I mean, what's the point? You might as well just give them to us for free. But I think buyback program, has its own drawbacks. For a brand like us, for a cell phone brand, it's easier because you can always scavenge microprocessors, etc. With Pioneer, most of the stuff, I think this is the only generation where the DAC of the Series 3000 is, well, technically the same as 2000 Nexus 2, but it's
Mhm.
only slightly improved version. So model number may be the same, but actual what's inside is better. It's like calling an i5 an i5 when there are different versions of i5s in the middle.
But there's no value
So
for it even like in controllers or something like that, like lower range stuff, not necessarily pro equipment.
it's uh
I mean, you can't salvage much, I know, but still, I'm just throwing an idea
yeah.
out.
Idea is salvaging. Idea exactly 100% is salvaging. See, I'm not into the after sales bit of it, so I don't know what exactly goes in. But I've worked with these. So what I do is when the product life cycle goes, I donate parts from my marketing assets to the service guys because, well, honestly, we are in India and it takes months to import some parts, and the customers are not very patient. So instead of giving it to somebody else and on charity basis, I always have to end up giving up my working products to the after sales team because a customer is unhappy. So it's not about well, I know what I just said can be taken in the wrong sense as well, but it's not about that. It's not. I mean, I can donate stuff to DJs, but the culture is such that all of us are always looking for free, and I say that as a guy from a brand with his own personal opinion. I also say that as one of those guys as well, as a DJ as well. No matter how big you get, you'll always like something for free, and
Yep.
that sometimes leads to misuse. And Pioneer DJ is not that big a brand. People think, oh my god, the scene is changed by Pioneer DJ. No, Pioneer DJ actually makes money from DJs. Let's be honest. We make money from DJs. We don't give DJs money. And I'm being very honest, right? It's business. Uh, so does Clement. Clement only makes money. Clement does not give money to anybody. Clement calls me, bro, can I save money? and and I say, yes, bro, can you write me an email? And Clement doesn't want to write an email because Nishank bata dega sabko. Nishank will also tell it on live stream. I'm so sure next time I visit Bangalore, Clement is gonna kill me. He's gonna take me to
Yeah,
the
no
12th
lunch
floor
for you.
apartment of his, and he'll be like, Nishank, hey, come, baga. Like, look from the balcony. And I'll go like, what? And he's like, like, who's the Bandra local now?
Bandra local.
Clement is a pioneer. Clement is a pioneering pioneer. Who farted?
Hmm.
Did somebody fart?
No.
It's a first. Clement is a pioneering pioneer. And yeah, so we're gonna call him that. With all due respect, bro, I'm really sorry. Please. Yeah.
Well, I'm just looking at the
Denon
chat now. There's a lot of
6000
people.
is
That's
sick.
nice.
Anyone tried? Arindam, honestly, I'm all about the competition. The competition makes us better. I would love to try out the 6000s. But, oh yeah, they have improved the DAC on 6000s as well, no? I think they have gone up to 32-bit or 24-bit now from the earlier 48 kilohertz to 96 kilohertz now. That is the change, I know. But Arindam, bro, where will you get them serviced? Is my question. Pioneer.
I want to know how many people will actually, I mean, minus the handful of us geeks sitting and talking to each other here, how many people will actually use all these extra features? And what we have itself, we don't use. So, like, what's the
Bro,
point
just
of
think,
saying, yeah?
just think about it. Like I said, if okay, right now we're on the CJ 3000s, but like we've had the 2000 Nexus 2s, and then before that the Nexus, and then before that the 2000s. All of them are capable of showing waveform and advanced stuff.
Right.
Your top rung DJs, 50% of them are still just taking their files and throwing it on a USB,
Throwing it
that
on
to
a
a
USB.
screwed up USB, and plugging it into the CDJ and then complaining.
Let
Yeah.
me put Tuhin in center now.
Yes. This is very
Yeah,
close to his
I
heart,
don't
this
mind.
topic.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, a lot of people have been making mistakes and not correcting them. This
No, no,
one
no, no,
sentence
no, no,
defines the
no, no,
scene.
no, 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 no. It's
No?
not a mistake. It's being lazy.
I, I'm just being nice,
No,
frankly.
it's being lazy because I mean that your music preparation. That's what it's about, right? Like,
Yeah.
why do you not want to take the full use of the CDJ that you have?
And that essentially is making DJing lose the art in it. It's
Yeah.
making DJing a hobby and a process.
Yeah, that way
Uh,
any monkey can go to thousand
hey,
number track
hello.
list,
Hey,
download the
hello.
best track list in the
Hello.
world, and then
Hello.
play
I
it
will
as a
not I will
DJ.
not listen to these words against me. Yeah?
Monkey.
We have a monkey here.
I mean, coming on Pioneer DJ's stream, calling me monkey and, and a Kamchalao DJ. Oh my God, Clement,
Monkey
I want you back, bro. You don't do my bestie like this.
But
Yeah.
it's true. I mean, it's one thing to get, like Clement is saying, it's a comfort zone. Bro, it is a comfort zone, but then you're also being lazy in your comfort zone and not moving forward, and then complaining about the rest of the world moving forward. That's also like little stupid.
I'm
Oh, don't get
surprised
me
like
Like,
people.
imagine, like, I'm not going to name this international artist because I've forgotten who it was. At the festival, 2000 Nexus 2 was current, and this DJ wanted a CDJ 2000 with a particular firmware, like a 10-year-old CD player he wanted.
Ooh,
I don't understand the logic. I
exotic.
don't remember, bro. I don't
It's
remember because I,
exotic.
I, I know this. I looked at it and they said no, they specifically want 2000s. I'm like, where are they going to go get 2000s now?
I remember this happening even at I think Wonderwall Festival, whatever 2016, 17 something, and you guys had sent the tour once, and people
Right.
flipped out because it had a screen, and then we just like tilted it downwards, and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
ignore there's a screen, the rest of it works the same.
Exactly. Like it's well, yeah. Premik, you don't
So
need to
yeah,
learn, bro. You learn everything.
Goose. Arre, Trisha is not back to back, it's side to side. I've been
Side
trying
to
to
side.
correct this concept in the DJing world. It is never back to back. Like how will DJs play like this? They're always side to side. You know, making changes to the console. This is the head, by the way, and these are the hands. You know. So yeah. So this
So
is always
Tuhin
side
and
to
I
side.
were at a gig in Gashauda in Amsterdam, and I'm not going to name these guys, but there were three guys from Berlin wearing all black in a dark nightclub, sunglasses, black t-shirt, black underwear, black shoes, black everything. And they were standing, one guy facing this way, another guy facing this way, and all three had laptops, and all three had Ableton running, and none of them looked at the crowd. So that was side to side to side or back to back,
Yeah.
and I will not
And none
comment
of
on
them
that.
moved also.
Yeah.
None of them moved also.
Did you see somebody Clements read Clements' comment? Somebody actually loaded Doom 2 on XDJ RX2.
I saw that. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so good.
I saw that. I saw
That
that
was
as well.
awesome. I sent two emails also to Pioneer from the CDJ 3000, but the mail server wasn't working, so it didn't go through.
Yeah, blame it on the Goa networks, bro.
Oh,
Correct. Yeah.
that's again that's what you have internet connectivity into your consoles. You have some brands. You have a slot to fix in an SSD within the slot. You have a controller that's coming with built-in battery. Okay.
Are
I
you going to
have
be
problem.
streaming with this?
I have problem. India, do you think all of that would work in India where, internet connectivity is still a myth? Beatport link, we have something
Who is
that.
Amit?
Who's Amit?
You said internet
Amit.
connectivity is Amit. Sorry, dad joke.
Not the South Indian name.
No, but I'm saying even if we even if we manage to sort all that out, can you imagine how much more producers will cry about how much they get per stream now? That even the few DJs who are buying the music are now choosing to stream it.
Yeah.
But
Like,
but
where
but
is
you
your
know what will
money?
happen? But you know what will happen when that happens? All these
What?
lazy DJs who are playing the same set week in and week out, no? They'll
They'll
all
make
get
one
bored.
Spotify playlist and
Best is when. What did Rohit say? I love it when Clement D'Souza is commenting in any live video. I miss
I
Chai
like
Pe
what
Chugli
Asrar has
days.
said. Asrar's
Yeah,
comment is
Asrar
valid.
says.
Insta stories don't show out on CDJs, so yeah, that's valid.
Asrar to doesn't
Yeah.
even know if it's Pioneer or Pioneer DJ. Okay, he calls Pioneer DJ Pioneer, and then he
Hey,
blames
that's
it
an
on the
idea for you.
intern.
Nay,
And then he blames
give
it on
your
the
old
intern.
equipment to the car stereo guys. They can put one platter in the Honda City.
Yeah, exhibit pimp my ride.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a next level scam altogether. Anyway, so questions. Let's get
Okay, yeah, we should take some questions now, maybe.
Goose, who do you think currently is making some noise in the organic house? Yeah, I love this term organic house.
I don't know what it means, but okay, let's call it that.
I
Uh,
think it must have something to do with the vegan scene.
Vegan DJs, yeah. So, no, I mean, I have downloaded and played music on the show and in my sets that have been categorized as whatever peak time, hard driving, techno, whatever that category is called now. So I don't really look
Hmm.
at it. But anyway, for that sound, I like what Sebastian Ledger has been doing in the last 3 years. I was anyway a fan of his music, right from his
Yeah.
French house days to his synth days to now his organic days.
Hmm.
Uh, he's not new. Who else? Roy Rosenfeld, ever since he's
I
moved out
think
of progressive and
most of the All Day
doing
I
what he's
Dream
doing.
sound is organic down tempo stuff.
Correct. But some of that is really mellow, which I don't think will work on a dance floor in India. It's good for radio, but it's not good for dance floor. Um,
Asrar's
yeah.
Asrar says black coffee. Black coffee is house, I believe. And then
I have
Clement
only
says,
green tea, please. I listen to green tea, sometimes maybe a whiskey with ice and water.
I like my coffee Irish.
Very nice.
Yep.
Yeah, but there's some interesting new names coming up. Not like famous guys, but they will be famous in 2 years, 3 years, and their music is making their way
Hmm.
into charts and DJ playlists and all of that now. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm not very good with these artist names, and I am better with label names, not so much with artist names. So yeah,
Hmm.
usually when they blow up is when the rest of the world knows, and then I go back and I'm like, okay, I've heard of this guy, I've played his music, I just didn't know this tune belonged to
Yeah.
him when I played it.
Hmm.
I think that's what happened when Dead Mau 5 came to the scene.
Correct.
Nobody will say anything about Dead Mau 5, okay?
Hmm.
That and the Daler Mehendi set, I predicted, okay? I predicted and that happened. I was not in my senses to watch it. I was there. That was the greatest day, evening of my life. A girl I used to have a crush on started liking me that day.
What was the? Oh, I love Green Velvet, man.
Green Velvet
Oh,
is
love
the
That
Green
boss
Velvet.
of bosses.
even I like Green Velvet. So for all that I play and I do, I still, and without any qualms, I will admit to the fact that I still love house music,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
which many
You
people are
can't. You
surprised
can't.
by when I tell them that.
No, you can't not like house music. I mean, that's like the foundation.
No, I mean a lot of people who are like getting into it now and are beginning to get into a nightclub now, at least the underground music, whether it's techno or melodic techno or this deeper stuff,
Hmm.
this is what they usually assume all of us play. What we play now is what we played all our lives, right? But I don't think that's true for any of us here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Totally good. And talking about people who are getting into the scene, you have any advice for people who want to start a show like me? I'm gonna at least do a
I've already given you
consistent.
this Gyan offline, but I'll
Yeah.
say it anyway for what it's
For
worth.
people, I know the
Uh,
Gyan that you've given me already. Yeah.
One is consistency, because if people don't go into it expecting people to know you and therefore listen to you, the whole idea is unless you take the first step, nobody has reason to want to listen to you. And uh, if you don't have conviction in what you're playing, then nobody else will have conviction in wanting to listen to you. So I've been peddling this music for a while now. It's just now that it's becoming a little more popular that people are taking the effort to go and dig into back
Yeah.
episodes and see who my previous guests were. Or somebody who's
Hmm.
big today, maybe when I had them on the show wasn't as big. Or like let's take the case of Asrar when he did the show, he was still a junior artist, but a lot more people in Bangalore know him today. But then I've also piggybacked on some big names like Tuhin and Ash and Praveen, for example, who had an
Asra, you're
audience.
not a
And
big name,
Rodo.
huh? He just said you're not a big name. Remember that.
Uh, but yeah, I think consistency and like if you know what your sound is, uh, like my sound is always the same, and the guests I feature are either artists that I'm playing their music or other artists that I enjoy that for the most part remains true to the show. So I'll never probably ever again invite another techno artist, even though I enjoy a lot of other techno artists in the country and outside. Not that I don't like listening, but I'll go to a club to listen to them, but they won't make their way onto the show. So if that identity is not there, then I mean you're starting off on the wrong foot. And from a marketing point of view, I think everyone is just lazy about it. Everyone thinks doing the little bit of social media is marketing, but if you're not understanding who's listening to you, where they found you, how they found you, what they like, then you don't know what you're dealing with. I don't know most of the people who listen to my show. Half the people who listen to my show don't subscribe to me. I can see my play counts going up, which is a good sign.
Yeah, I've subscribed to you,
So,
bro.
yeah, I mean, that keeps growing, and I'm thankful to everyone who does subscribe. But there are a lot more people who just listen and that's it. There's no comment, there's no like, there's no subscription. So you have no idea who's actually listening to you. But there are random people who come up in the club and say, I heard you said it was great, whether it's a
Don't you
live
have that in
set or
SoundCloud Pro?
sorry.
Don't you have that in SoundCloud Pro, the option?
I have the stats, but I'm saying if I know, if you don't break it down, like if I don't know my people are listening to me in Bangalore or Pune, most people don't take the trouble of actually going through all that information. I can go now to Milano, who manages me, and say, I have an audience here. There are people listening to me. So clearly they know me. Maybe it's time to try
Yeah,
and find a gig there. So if you want to see how it amounts to actual money or branding or a gig, then you have to do the hard work behind the scenes after you put out the music also. And so, like, don't leave the marketing just on Instagram story and leave it at that.
correct,
But
correct.
I don't want to do hard work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think the consistency is what it takes. I mean, look at any big show today. It's only because they've done it for so long that they've reached whatever this cult level of following and listening and all that stuff.
Hmm. I think I'll subscribe back to the SoundCloud Pro. I had to give it up.
Don't do conjuicy with it. Pay somewhere for something.
I know, but every month is like so expensive, and then if you choose to pay annual subscription, it's anyway expensive.
My funda, when I started investing in this, or rather, my funda generally with whatever I'm paying for, music wise, has been pretty straightforward, I think. If I
Hmm.
don't know how it's going to come back to me in some form or the other, then I should really evaluate whether it's worth the investment or not. So I'm not
Correct.
against making it, but okay, if I'm paying $15 a month for SoundCloud, that's not giving me money directly. But if I can say I'm getting a gig because of it, okay, it's adding up somewhere. Or now if I bought production equipment or controllers or
Long-term investment.
headphones, then correct. I mean, ultimately, it can't be a zero-sum game, right? Somewhere the money has to
Right.
come back because you put food on the table, right? End of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Where
So,
is this
have you made any
thing?
money with the podcast? No, right?
Not directly, but I've done shows. And there are people who I can tell you people come to my shows because they've heard the podcast for a
No, no.
fact.
So, is there a way to make money from these podcasts?
There is, but I'm not getting into that game because that's usually done more for sort of gated content, which is exclusive because I'm a select creator. So, like in your case, let's say Skip,
Yeah.
if you're putting out exclusive Toto Roto releases or Skip releases only in a like a mixtape out once a month and you're putting that behind some money, people who really want to follow you and buy will do it. But that number won't be a lot, but there's money involved. It's the same way how people do sample packs and Patreon accounts and all those things for their
Okay,
Hmm.
okay.
tutorials. Same logic. But I mean, again, to get to that point, it has to really be of value because there's so much music out there that if we dig a little bit, we'll find something close to it for free. Or some other guy has already found the solution and it's somewhere on the internet.
Yeah, that'll be the case.
So yeah, I mean, for the music, at least I'm pretty clear what I'm doing. I'm not doing it for the money directly. So anybody else can put together the same 10, 11 songs for 1 hour and release it. And then it won't matter that it's Goose or Journey or it has art or anything else. But if I build the stickiness of saying, okay, this guy, this show, this brand delivers some good content, then gives them a reason to want to come back and you know, take action on it if I ever go and play there.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. We've talked about Totoroto. We've left Totoroto's set and everything. What do you think about
Yeah.
Monkey?
Monkey's live streams are pretty awesome. I don't know why he stopped doing it. Monkey's sound is also nice. I don't know why Monkey doesn't play more. Uh,
Thank you.
Monkey,
I'll convey the message.
yeah, Monkey should play more for sure.
So I've made it a point this year to go out more, be a little bit more approachable because the work, the studies, all of these pressures there, and it's not letting me live. Every time Tuhin calls me or Skip calls me, I'm studying. If not, then I'm working. So
Yeah.
I'm
Nishant, I know where your eyes went to on that comment.
so I have become a little bit more approachable this year. That has been my New Year's resolution. I have started taking some calls after my working hours. And yeah, music wise, bro, I definitely think now is the time that I mean, I think COVID did that good to me because I would say even I put in the effort. It's not that it just happened overnight. First few streams reached 2,500 views on a brand new page.
That's damn good.
So maybe I was lucky that way, but yeah, I think that will go to waste if I don't continue, and then I'll
Yeah, I agree.
complain.
No, a lot of people do what 5 episodes because that Josh is there to keep it up, and then the momentum dies off, and then when they try it again, they don't see the same success, and then even more demotivation, and then even less inclination. And then I mean, I see that with I'm not an old DJ, but with some of the guys who've just started DJing, there is like at this point you're getting an opening set, and you are only going to make your mark if your set is good, and the few people who are there will like what you're playing, and so your only effort that you have to
Correct.
put is like choosing music that stands for you, and even that they are lazy to do. So
Correct.
yeah, how do you go forward from there at that point then?
Hmm.
Like that's me putting my
True.
marketing hat on and saying, okay, if you're the same as the next guy, then what reason for uh, the promoter to book you or for anyone to
100%.
call you and say, I like your music?
100%.
Yeah.
Trisha's got
But
a
yeah, I
mic
don't
is
think enough
correct way.
artists pay importance to marketing beyond social media, which again is like people think it's a if you're there's two types of people I've met. One is they do only marketing and there's no music. It's only marketing, like all fart and no shit. Or the other guys who are only about the music, and if my music is good enough, then the marketing will happen and people will discover me, and then I'll be the next prodigy from India type of thing. But I mean, my point of view is if you started a business, would you not make the effort to sell and market, whether it is, I don't know, a book or a face mask or whatever it is, you still have to find somebody who's willing to buy what you're selling. Right? And so why won't you put the same effort if your product here is an art form and you are the product? There's nothing wrong in selling yourself like that. You don't have to dilute it or do something you don't want to do, but you still have to put in the effort to market yourself.
Correct. Correct. So just what Arindam has does, guys, all of you are always welcome to promote yourself on the comments. Drop in your artist names, etc. We'll be more than happy to, listen to you.
Deepak Babna is
Yeah,
doing a good job. Yes, Deepak Babna is like my marketing agent and Tuhin's marketing agent. If everyone finds one fan
He's
like Deepak
awesome.
Babna, I think yeah.
yeah. So
Anyway, do we have any
yeah,
more questions?
He's already bored.
Wow.
no, I'm not bored. I just am sleep deprived. Always sleep deprived.
What?
Skippy,
What's your question? Skip has
what
been very quiet today.
happening?
Either we
What is
bored him or
happening?
too much too serious.
We
Okay.
didn't ask him to stay quiet today, huh? For a change. This is the first stream
Out
where
of
we did
choice.
not give him a warning. Yeah.
Skip
I
is
wanted to be
I've intimidated him.
he's
no,
silent
no.
Skip today.
I wanted to hear more this time.
No.
I believe you, Skip.
Nice. So, ठीक है. It's been okay.
Okay, there's a question.
Yudhishthir has a long. Will it fit the screen? I don't think so. Oh, it does.
Yeah, it fits. Yeah.
What advice do you give
Yudi is
DJs like me who have
asking.
been resident DJs all the playing music only first, staying at home, my booking, not staying in city lodges and Kashmir local scene. Well, So, um, I have a pretty polarized opinion on this, so I'm not sure if, like, take it with a pinch of salt, but I'll say what I have to say anyway. So one is, I generally get the feeling that a lot of resident DJs are looked down in our country, especially when it's a damn difficult job. It's not easy to be a resident where you're under the
Very
pressure to
difficult job.
play what some 100 different people want you to play. But I don't think that should limit you in what you choose to play. I mean, if you have the advantage you have is you have a venue and you have equipment and you have a crowd without having to work too much for it on that front. So I'm not saying you can go full hog and play what you like to play and not what the venue commands or the manager wants or whatever. But I'm sure there's some middle ground you can find to introduce something. And I've seen a few people do that and do that successfully, where they're able to build a property on some weeknight or whatever, where they're able to showcase a different sound for that venue. The other way, and this was my approach to the whole thing, is I was pretty clear in my head of what I wanted to play, and therefore, as a result of that, I knew being a resident in India was not really an option because there aren't many venues that are that open to the idea. But I also
But
went
it's
in knowing that it's going like not going to pay me for a while, and I'm going to have to play music outside my comfort zone, even though that is the end game. Let's say what I play today was the end game. When I started out, this is not what I was playing. I still had to play with artists who played commercial music or heavier music or whatever, and I had to adapt what I played to their sound to play a good warm up set. I had to play a good set. That was my goal for every gig that I went. And therefore, eventually, gig after gig moved closer and closer till you get a bigger opportunity, either a main slot or a better slot when you're on a 3 DJ lineup or a festival slot or whatever it may be. So, yeah, that's my 2 bits.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what Yudi is asking. I know him personally. Damn, he's a damn good DJ, very sweet guy. But it's also the fact that, in the 90s or early 2000s, like, clubbers really looked up to resident DJs because they were the ones
Yeah,
who were actually moving the scene forward.
correct.
Touring was not, that big back then.
Yeah,
You had a very few DJs who were actually uh, big enough to be playing across the country. So the scenes in various cities were really built upon, the shoulders of residents. And then
yeah,
when this whole festival boom happened, things completely turned around because the focus went away from the clubs and it went towards these like large scale events. And with that, all the residents were sort of forgotten. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a very hard situation right now. Like if you've been a resident back in the day and then you've transitioning, to being a resident today, it's two completely different worlds. And like you said, it's a very hard plank to walk, sort of thing, and also keep the balance. But the idea that you had about building one night of the week as your night and showcasing something different, I think that is something that they can easily do because they have access to the venue. So pick an odd
Correct.
day and build a property around yourself, no matter what kind of like music you're promoting.
I think promoters are doing that anyway, right? I mean, if it's a little
Yeah,
offbeat sort of genre, we're seeing,
yeah,
like, I'm seeing disco promoters or bass music promoters who are not given access to a venue on a weekend because that's kept for a bigger billing style of music. And these guys are going in and taking a Wednesday's night, which is what, let's say, ladies' night and a disco night. And so it all works
yeah.
together.
I think also like uh, because you're a resident DJ, it becomes easier for you to deal with the club, and for
Correct.
you to have more bargaining or planning
You
power
have more
throughout the
leverage, yeah.
night. That
Hmm.
yeah, I think that is what residents should use to sort of build their profile up. I mean, it's not like their
I, I,
profiles are down. It's just that people
correct.
have forgotten residents, and it's
I
not.
feel bad
It's
for a
yeah.
few.
It's yeah.
I mean, the good
It's not
ones
the
who have
best place
been
to
around
be.
for long are like they're treated with the same merit as the people who are still entering the scene today. And it'll be new venue,
Hmm.
new DJ, and the venue just needs a DJ behind the booth who doesn't have as much skill or knowledge as the guy who's been doing it for 8, 9, 10, 20 years. But
Hmm.
now
Exactly.
they're bucketed together, and so they're dealt with the same way. So that, yeah, I don't know what we can do to
Yeah.
change that, but are we
With
time to
that,
go?
there's a good. Yeah.
That was a good chat, guys. Thank
Obviously,
you for having me.
what is this behavior, Pooja? Why are
Yeah, yeah,
we?
pretty informative also.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't have anything to add up to that, but I feel whatever Tuhin has just said, because this was one of the topics of discussion in Palm Expo 1 or 2 years ago, 2016, to be honest, and quite thoroughly.
And
That's
this
when
topic is being
I.
talked about almost everywhere we talk about this. Yeah, this is a
Yeah, and
general
also
thing.
like
I
if you
think.
see what Yuri has said right now, he says it's he's tried it, but lack of support has shut down that avenue. And yeah, bro, it's really difficult to find a club that's truly supportive of what you want to do as an artist. Forget you being a resident and an employee,
Hmm.
but to flesh
Yudi,
out what you want to do as an artist.
can I suggest
So
something,
yeah,
Yudi?
maybe a new
Now is the
venue.
right time. Do it as a sundowner. It's nice
Uh,
weather throughout the country. Sunday, sundowner, try building your own property right now, bro. I think right now is a good time for that. And yeah, with that, I am done with the GAM for the day.
Awesome,
Who else is?
guys. Thanks for tuning in,
Thank you,
everybody. We've had a
guys.
really
Thank you,
good
guys. That was
and
awesome fun.
active set of
Yeah,
followers on the page and
this
YouTube
was
and
fun.
stuff.
Thank you
Goosey,
so
thank
much.
you.
Please follow
Thank
us
you,
on
guys.
YouTube, Twitter. Please interact with us so that one day we will also get a verified page because we are a tiny, tiny company that mostly gets
Self-respect
hate these
recruitment.
days and not love. So we need your love. Thank you so much. And Goose,
Thank you.
thank you so
Thank you
much
for
for
having me.
joining us
Where are
today.
you? How do I do this? How do I do this? This way, this
Yeah, this one.
one. 1, 2, 3.
And Trish, Yudhishthir, Deepak, Premik. Um, there are so
Remake, I'm
many
going to
names
call you
today. Huh?
tomorrow.
Pulkit, Rohit, Nick, Clement, Asrar, of course, Shine, everybody who has joined us today. I'm really sorry if you've, missed out on your name. You know who you are. It's been lovely today after a really long time. Definitely hope to see all of you soon in person. If you want to see DJ 3000 workshop virtually, we can do it next week.
Yeah,
Tuhin
let's do
can
that.
give you some GAN. If you want to know something about Record Box, our man Skippy is also keen to teach you something in
The
detail.
S11 also,
S11.
and the S11's integration with Serato. It
Mm.
is a beast, man. I've been exploring both Recordbox Serato with S11. S11 is a
Hmm.
bomb, bro.
Vinod,
Four deck
thanks for
mixing,
joining in as well. Sorry,
yeah.
bro.
There's a lot of four deck mixing and all that stuff. There's a ton of stuff that you can do with S11, man. I've been doing a lot with that.
So yeah, we should do a whole session with Skip on that next week.
Mm.
Let's fix a time for next week. Let's do a session with Tuhin San on CTA 3000 next week. Guys,
I think you should do a
just
record
let us
box
know.
also.
Yeah,
Yeah, record box as
and
well.
DM on the Pioneer DJ India page what day or time you feel is the best. That way we can see what's the best that we can finalize. That's all from my side. That's Monkey signing off.
Awesome.
Thank you,
See you
guys.
guys.
See you soon. Talk soon. Bye, 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 bye.
See you.